Welcome to the Snowboard Productions podcast. My name is Kyra and I'm here with...
Hi, I'm the more calm of the two. My name is Brei. Welcome to the So Bored production if you didn't catch that in the most loud introduction ever.
That's how I'm going to introduce every podcast.
Please don't. Please, I beg you.
But seriously, welcome to the Snowboard Productions
No, there's
podcast.
no need to be calm now.
Here, two best friends are going to talk shit for an hour and you guys are going to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty much the whole premise.
Sorry, I'm eating ice.
That's pretty much the premise of the whole podcast. We're just going to be talking about random stuff. And this first podcast, we thought because it's our first podcast, we'll talk about each other.
Yeah, each other.
Sound a little more excited, please.
Yeah, each other.
So we've been friends for
5 years.
5 years. So long.
She's so
Too long.
old.
What? You're older than me.
No, I'm not. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, so how we met is in high school. She had just transferred in to my high school in her senior year, and I was a junior, and we were in the same art class. And
How it happened was the funniest thing ever. All I said was, "Oh, look, Solix from one of our webcomics." And the look she gave me will forever be just ingrained in my soul.
It's because we had started out, like, we had been talking for we've been like a week into school. We'd been talking a little bit. I thought she was really cool. I'm thinking, this is going to be probably a new friend, and that was great, and I was excited. And Solix is from Homestuck, if you don't know. It's a webcomic that I was obsessed with in high school. I still love it a lot. And one of the characters I had as a sticker on my folder, and I went to put my folder down, and she turned so casually and just said, "Is that Solix?" I was so excited. I'm like, another Homestuck fan? There's like only 20 of them in the world. Holy shit, I found another one. And what did you drop?
I don't know, but I want it.
What are you cutting with my scissors?
Shut up! Don't judge me.
I can't leave Brei alone for 2 seconds, even though she's right in front of me.
Leave me alone. Let me play.
Anyway, so from then on, our relationship was set. We loved doing art. We even did I think one cosplay together.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did for my 17th birthday. 17th. Wasn't 18th?
No, 17.
Yes, 17th because okay, all right. And then Brei abandoned me for 20 years.
What do you mean? I went to college and we talk almost every day.
We talk almost every day now. When she first went to college, I literally would text her one day and be lucky if I got a response within the next month. And she came to hang out with me on the first day of high school, and it was so exciting. I'm like, I'm gonna see her, even though she's going to college and I'm a senior. We're still gonna see each other. I didn't see her till 6 months after that. And when she came to my house to make cookies, and she skipped class for that.
I skipped class for you. Be happy.
Yeah, and then another 6 months after that, we saw each other at Smashburger. It's just she never had time to come over to me. And I think the reason how we got close again was because of a mutual friend of ours who was no longer a mutual friend of ours, who I was really close with last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brei got interested in her. And then they started dating, so the three of us started hanging out all the time, every week we would hang out. And even when that mutual friend phased out, me and Brei are closer than ever now.
This is my wife. She's available for now, but she's my wife. At the age of 34, she's
34.
not available. I gave you 34. You are not available after that. I am marrying you.
According to her, unless I have a ring on my finger and have already had a ceremony, I have to legally marry her the minute I turn 34.
Yes, the minute she does, we're going to Vegas.
Yes, out of all the places. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Stop. Okay, alright, I'm trying to think. Let's think of some stories about each other.
No, I think this is the only story I will ever have the nerve to say.
Oh god.
One day, after getting up out of my bed, coming through any normal weather, just to visit her, doing laundry, anything, all I get was a fuck you.
No, hold on. Let me explain. So, Brei is the best friend in the world, okay? She literally texts me. She texted me 11 in the morning, and she was like, "What are you doing today?" "Nothing." "All right, I'm coming over." but I'm coming over. Okay. She comes over. She helped me do laundry. She went out to do chores with me, and we're walking. And I just suddenly realized, I'm like, you know what, Brei? What? Fuck you. And she's like, why? And I'm like, you're ruining any future relationship I'm ever gonna have because you're too good now. It's not fair.
How is
It's
that
not
my
fair.
fault?
Any person I date in the
I'm
future
a
is gonna
good
be held to
friend.
this standard.
I am a good friend. You can't hold that against me.
Any relationship I have in the future is now gonna be held to the Brei standard, all
No.
because of you.
That is not a good
You
thing.
did the same thing today. You texted me. You were like, "I'm not going to work. Can I come over to your house?" Like, you do that all the time.
No, I
Nobody else does that.
Normal people do this.
Well, I don't have any normal friends.
Oh my God.
So, because it's not a video podcast, you might not know that Brei dropped her drink on the floor.
It's a good thing it was already empty and I'm eating ice.
Good thing it was closed. Because that ice had gone over my floor next to all this electronics. That would not have been good. Ooh, what? So we just had some technical difficulties, and we're back. The podcast, my audio recording software just sort of stopped for a minute.
Yeah, we just had a whole breakdown. Awesome.
Woo, party! Okay, so you told my gerbil's chewing on the cage. So you told a story about me. I want to tell a story about you. So every time I hang out with this girl, now me and her, we're very close. We both love animals. I have two gerbils who are both thinking this is the perfect time to gnaw on the side of their cage. I'm just lucky my microphone is not good enough to pick that up.
Freedom!
No. And when I went to go purchase my original two gerbils, I brought Brei with me. And after I had gotten the two gerbils into like the carry-on cage, I had to go look for some stuff I needed to buy for them. And did Brei go with me? No. Brei was on the side asking the people who worked there to hold the snake. It doesn't matter that I needed help finding things. No. Brei needed to hold the snake. And then she tried to hold the the guinea pig. And then she even asked to hold the birds. Well, I'm over here trying to provide for my two new children.
Mind you, she's holding them too, so she has nothing to say.
I wasn't holding them. I got to pet the snake. I didn't get to hold the snake because I was too busy finding items for my children.
You still got to play with them.
Shut up.
That's another thing. Even when I'm right, I'm getting yelled at.
No, but it's true. We both love animals, and if I hadn't been looking for gerbil stuff that day, we would have been holding more animals.
Yeah, probably.
Like one time we went to the
Pet store near our old school.
No, that was not the one I was going to talk about. I was talking about the one in Times Square, the Petco.
Oh.
Yeah, we live in New York, by the way.
Yeah.
Times Square, that's in New York. When we went over there, I went to get some stuff for my hamster at the time, and after I'd already picked up the stuff, Brei wanted to hold animals.
Oh.
And I also wanted to hold animals, and now what I know, because I've asked to hold pretty much every animal in existence in these pet stores, is that you can't hold certain animals because they might bite. But we happened to get a person, we got an employee who I think it was like their first day, because they had all the keys to the animal cages but didn't know which ones we weren't allowed to hold. I didn't say anything, but she let us hold animals that we're usually not allowed to hold, and I'm not gonna say her name, not that I remember it, but if I did know her name, I wouldn't say it because she was great.
Awesomest human in the world.
We got to hold a chinchilla. I got to get bitten by a chinchilla, and it's the best moment of my life. We got to hold chinchillas, we held bearded dragons, we held an iguana. Are they fighting?
Hold on.
The gerbils?
No.
Okay, I think they were playing, but it looked like they were attacking each other. Oh my god. Anyway, back to the story. We got to hold iguana, chinchillas, guinea pigs, all that stuff. It was great. A+. Shout out to that one lady that one day. She's probably learned better by now, so we probably can't do that again.
Damn.
But that was great.
Though I did get to hold a cat.
You got to hold a cat? Oh, while I was downstairs getting this stuff, you abandoned me and went to the kitty apartments?
I wanted to hold the cat.
What if I wanted to hold a cat?
Oh, too bad you wouldn't come back with me.
What do you mean I wouldn't come back with you? I was doing stuff and then we
I
had
was
to
like,
leave.
Kyra, I'm going to hold the kittens. Brei, no, I'm already here. Wash his hands.
That was the evilest laugh.
Oh no. Leave my laugh alone.
Never. So, Okay.
Oh, sorry. Should have put this in the beginning. Warning, loud noises.
If you didn't know from my intro, which was the loudest crap ever, we talk loud.
Yes, very.
Just look at the audio. See, had some loud audio spikes that happened a few seconds ago. Wow, we've only been talking to it for 10 minutes.
This is supposed to be an hour.
Trust me, I'm sure we have more to say. We are not done speaking. In fact, let me tell you the story of my gerbils.
Oh,
Okay, so
give me a verse.
so because of how close me and Brei are, all of my children are her godchildren and or just her children because we adopt them together. And when I originally got my hamster, Brei came with me to get the hamster. Brei cried with me when the hamster passed away. R.I.P. Blueberry. And then about a month later, I really missed having a pet, so I decided I was gonna get 2 gerbils. Now, I did a crap ton of research, like I always do when I'm. Okay, it's still recording. Like I always do when I'm about to get a new pet. I did a crap ton of research. I needed to get 2 so that they wouldn't be lonely because they're really social animals. So me and Brei, well, I called around a whole bunch of places to find the place that me and Brei could go to, and we went to a Petland Discounts in Greenpoint. And yeah, I'm gonna say where the frickin' place is because I'm still mad about what happened. So, so me and Brei go, and that's when she's holding the snakes, and I'm getting my gerbils. And one of them is pure white, and one of them, well, albino, and the other one is like gray and white. And I decided to name the white one Sugar and the gray and white one Spice. And I love the names. I was so excited. I loved my babies. I loved them so much. And I bought the stuff for them, brought them home, and went on with my life. 2 weeks later, I took them to the vet just to make sure they were healthy, see how old they were, all that stuff. And when I took them to the vet, I told them I got 2 girl gerbils that I got from a pet store, and the vet was examining one of them, Sugar, and says, "Oh." I'm like, "What do you mean, oh?"
What is wrong with my child?
She said, "This one's a boy." What do you mean this one's a boy? I was like, you know what? Maybe they just pulled 2 gerbils out of the boy bin instead of the girl bin. That's fine. I don't mind having 2 boy gerbils. That wouldn't be a problem.
Nope.
Except Spice was a girl. So what does that mean? I'll tell you what that means. That
We had
means
to get rid of one of our babies.
because if you leave them together for too long, they might have already mated. By the way, Spice could still be pregnant, and it's like, because they were together for 2 weeks alone in a cage, they could have very well mated, and it's like, I don't want 30 gerbils. I'm very happy with 2. I did not want 30, so I called the pet store, and I decided to bring in Sugar. I love them both. Sugar was a little more distant, a little more aggressive than Spice, so I was like, I guess I'm gonna give back Sugar. I could have kept them both, neutered one of them, but neutering is so dangerous in small animals. Like, they can easily die, and I didn't want to deal with that, so I didn't neuter. I just straight up was like, okay, I'm gonna give Sugar back and I'm gonna cry, but I'm gonna do it. And I got a new child, which I named Pumpkin. Yes, Pumpkin Spice. Yes, I'm a basic bitch. We all know this already. And I am very glad that Pumpkin is showing all signs of being a girl, and I'm very glad that Spice is currently not showing signs that she's pregnant. But apparently, they don't show until like 2 or 3 days before they give birth. So for all I freaking know, Spice could be ready to pop out 9 freaking babies, and I just won't know until I see 9 little babies crawling around in the fluff. Anyway.
Yeah, she's a little angry. If you hadn't noticed.
I had to give up one of my children that I had spent 2 weeks bonded with. You would be angry too. Well, you were angry. I literally called her after the vet, screaming at her over the phone. And
I just woke up not knowing what the fuck is going on.
And then she came with me to the vet to get Pumpkin, and I was just upset. I was just angry. I'm like, Brei, don't let me yell at this manager. And here's the thing that bothered me a little more. Okay, so I went to the vet, found out that she might be pregnant. I said to the manager, I said, what would happen if I find out the babies are pregnant? Baby's pregnant. What?
Yes.
What would happen if I found out that Spice was pregnant? Because I did decide to keep Spice, even though Spice could be the pregnant one, because I just love her a lot.
No, we're not getting rid of both.
No. And it's like, and she said, you could bring them back here. And I'm like, oh, you'd buy them from me. No, we don't buy them. We would just take them. I'm over here like, you've given me emotional trauma, and you won't purchase these babies from me. How dare you?
Yeah, no, we're just gonna sell them.
So if you want a gerbil,
Stop advertising. You don't even know if she's pregnant yet.
but if she is and you want a gerbil, contact me and I will get right back to you. Okay, so
Now that she's done ranting for the next 30 days.
you got something you want to talk about?
I'm good.
We still got like 45 minutes.
I'm slowly dying on the inside if everybody wanted to know, and she yells at me about this all the time.
See, Brei is the kind of person who will have this issue with her body, but she's so used to having issues with her body that she'll be like, no, it's just because my body's actually weird like that. But like, no, you're gonna die. That's not normal.
Like the time I told you that every time I breathe in too hard, it tastes and smells.
That's not normal. You are going to die.
For me.
That's not a good thing.
It's a perfectly normal thing.
Any doctors who are listening?
No, I'm fine.
Let me tell you. So I have a cousin named Sierra who literally pulled the same crap. She said to me, she was like, we were talking and all of a sudden she's like, whoa. And she like sort of like looked like she was dizzy for a second. I'm like, are you okay? She was like, yeah, sometimes my hearing just goes away for like 10 seconds. And I'm like, what? And she's like, oh no, it's fine. I told my dad. He was like, whatever. I don't think he believed me. Tell your doctor. I think I'm fine. Sweetie, that is not good. Once again, any doctors who want to tell me my cousin is dying.
She's fine too. We are used to this.
All of my loved ones are dying slowly.
No, they're not. Don't say that out loud.
Knock on wood.
Oh God.
I'm not saying that I'm not dying slowly too. I got my fair share of medical issues.
Yes. Yes.
But but yeah, Brei's dying. So this
I'm
podcast
not
might soon just be
dying.
me.
Stop. I am perfectly fine.
Look out for the Brei Memorial podcast.
Stop. I am fine.
Okay. I also just want to warn you that me and Brei are very musical people. So stop, please. so if me and Brei burst into weird, like noises, weird songs out of anywhere, you'll be fine.
Yeah, you have no choice but to deal with it.
Pretty much.
Or stop listening. But
I
we
also
really wouldn't want you to do that.
I also play the ukulele, so I could just come out of nowhere and just
Wait,
be like,
too close. Too close. You're too close. Too close.
I feel like every podcast now, I just need to burst out the. And I'm gonna drive Brei mad because she gets so annoyed when I randomly start playing the ukulele.
It's so annoying and so random sometimes. I will be just sitting there on the phone with her, and all of a sudden I'll just hear random ukulele noise, random singing. Will you shut the hell up, ma'am?
But here's the thing, me and Brei will be on the phone for like 2 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, and after a while we run out of things to talk about, so we're silent for a little while, but we're still like keeping each other company. Like we don't want to hang up. We're still there. We're just not talking. And I'm like, well, if I'm not gonna do anything else, might as well practice playing the ukulele. And then she wanna be like, Kyra, stop. What else do you want me to do?
You can find anything and everything to talk about. I remember having a conversation with my mom, and my stepmom, ever since I met her, we would call each other on the phone and we'd have this weird conversation. Every time I was like, hey mom, didn't you know the sky was purple? And then we just go on into
What the hell are you talking
Exactly. We just go off into a random tangent about how the alternate universe, the sky is actually purple, and the moon is green, the sun is red. It's just very fun. You can find random things to talk about.
You know, I have another story that I just remembered. I think this one is quite important. So me and Brei, like we said, we've been friends for 5 years now, around 5 years.
Almost.
She's 21, I'm about to turn 21, and in June, we'll both be 21, and we're both going to go on a trip to VidCon. So fun. We live in New York, we're going to go to California together. We got an Airbnb. Excuse me.
Whoa.
We have an Airbnb. We got everything set up, and Brei was supposed to buy our VidCon tickets, right? No, I know you did. I know. So I was on a trip, like a weekend trip while Brei was buying the tickets. So I called her on the phone. Shh, don't be able to hear me. I called her on the phone so for us to do it, right? And she went through the whole process. She bought the 2 tickets. She put one of them in my name, obviously, because one of them is mine. And we get to the end, and like, okay, we end up hanging up. I'm going back. I'm like at a convention, so I'm like doing things. I go to check the email to confirm the information. Like I said, I've been friends with Brei for 5 years. She misspelled my last name. I could spell her last name in my sleep.
My last name is the simplest last name you could ever have. You do it every time you go to Vegas. Gamble. Nothing is as simple as gamble.
Well, I can spell your first name, and that's not simple.
Okay.
And she asked me to spell it too. That's the hard part. While she was filling it out, she asked me to remind her how to spell my name, and she still misspelled it. I was so done. I had to go on the website and change my name because when I went there with my ID to pick up the badge, they'd be like, "I'm sorry, Miss Guarneri. Miss Guarini is supposed to be picking this up." I just can't handle you, Brei. I can't handle you.
Look, I may be smart, but I never said I could spell.
You're ridiculous.
Never said I could spell.
I literally spelled it out while you were typing it out.
I swear to gosh, when she was saying it, it was like G-A-U, and then I was like, wait.
Nope, that's not correct. You misspelled it already.
G-A-R-U, something like that.
G-U-A-R-U. Miss Guaruri.
There's an E somewhere in there.
Oh my god.
And I'm miscellaneously floating in the distance.
Do you try to... The distance? The Diskins, everybody. That's our word of the week. Diskins.
Fuck you.
Oh my god.
I'm not drunk enough for this.
You're not drunk at all.
You don't know that.
Yes, I do. You woke up like an hour ago.
Shut up.
All we drank this time was bubble tea.
And I've eaten all my ice, so.
Good job.
I'm a little impressed.
You can have my ice.
No, your ice tastes nasty.
How does my ice taste nasty?
Because you had taro in it.
You don't like taro? It's not orange, it's mango. What? My friend Brei, everybody. This is what you'll be expecting to hear at every podcast.
She's a little colorblind.
A little colorblind.
Shut up.
No, the color is right. It was the description that was wrong. It is orange, but it's mango. Anyway, welcome to the Only Kyra podcast.
Being rude. Share. You're supposed to be nice to me.
Oh my god. Alright, you're too good. Stop! No! So, what else can we talk about for friendship? I don't know why I said it like that.
And you keep doing it. Do you know how many times I have disowned this woman? Do you know how many times I've gotten tired of her shit?
Well, I mean, we get tired of each other's shit pretty often.
Did we have an argument yesterday?
Let me tell you! Let me tell you!
It was
You know exactly what I'm going to talk about, don't you?
Sunday.
She knows exactly what I'm going to talk about. Oh my god. Okay, so me and Brei really love this snack called onigiri.
No!
Can you get my phone? We love it so much. We get it all the time. We literally just had it for lunch. Onigiri, if you guys do not know, is essentially sushi rice.
I don't like sushi.
Let me explain the story. It's essentially sushi rice wrapped up with seaweed, also in sushi, with something in between. Guess what? That's basically sushi. It's just bigger, and you hold it in your hand.
No.
Stop cutting my toothpicks. I mean, my what is this? This girl chopped my chopstick! How dare you? Let me finish the story.
Okay.
So basically, every time I talk to her nowadays, we always argue. I'm like, sushi's really good. I should get some sushi. She's like, I don't like sushi. It's literally the same thing as onigiri.
No, it is not. They are two different things. I
Please.
don't like sushi. Onigiri is not sushi.
Please explain how they're different.
Everything is different.
Okay, explain.
Onigiri is rice and cooked food in the middle with different sauces.
Are you serious?
Sushi
right
is just retarded rice with dead fish that is not even supposedly clean. I don't trust it.
now? First of all,
It's not sushi.
first
I don't
of
like
all,
sushi.
first of all,
Sushi's disgusting.
there are plenty of sushi rolls
Nope.
that have something called shrimp tempura in it, which is cooked shrimp.
You are a liar.
And you know what we usually get in our onigiri, Brei?
You are a
Cooked shrimp!
You're a liar! Don't lie to me! Liar! I deny you! Objection!
And that is the end of this podcast. You'll never be hearing from us again. Goodbye. We are no longer friends.
Goodbye.
But not actually. I was joking. No, don't leave my house though. If you agree with me,
I refuse.
please
not
comment
agree
down
with her.
below if you agree with me.
It is not the same. I refuse to accept this.
See now
This is like the argument I have with my friend. She doesn't like chocolate, but she'll eat Oreos. What are Oreos? Chocolate.
There is a difference though, because it's chocolate cookie, and maybe they just don't like the chocolate like substance. Like
It's still chocolate.
You like sushi.
I don't like sushi.
You like sushi.
No.
I'm gonna force feed her shrimp tempura rolls with no raw fish in it, and let's see how much she's like, wow, this is exactly like onigiri. You know why? Cause it is exactly like onigiri.
Right.
It's the same rice, the same sushi.
Access denied.
Can you not like knock me over, please? Anyway. What if I just talk like this for the rest of the podcast to make up for how much we yelled so far?
Yeah, we've been yelling a lot.
Yeah. So we're hitting the midpoint of this podcast, and I would like to let you know that this podcast is not sponsored by Google, because Google is too rich to need someone who's literally just started out on podcasting to advertise their product. Literally everyone uses Google. So yeah, that's our non-sponsor of the day. But if you wanna,
Yes.
if you wanna sponsor us,
Sponsor
and you're not
us.
Google, because we know Google doesn't want to.
Please.
All business inquiries in the email in the description. Thank you.
I can be a very good sponsor. I will gladly slip in some.
Yeah, we'll argue about your product instead of sushi next time, if that's what you would like.
We have argued about a good decent
Oh my god.
handful of products.
We've argued about a lot of things. I'm trying to think. I don't know what to say. Oh look! Pumpkin's drinking out of her water bottle.
Deep throat.
No, what? First of all, she's not. What is wrong with you? Anyway, this podcast is supposed to be about me and Brei, so let's talk about me and Brei. Let's start off with the fact that Brei molests me on a daily basis. Stop.
She loves it.
She doesn't understand personal
I
space.
never did.
Today I was wearing leggings. Stop touching me. I was wearing leggings, and she came into my house, and it took her a minute to notice, but then she like stopped me while I was getting the mic ready, and she said, hold on, come here. I came closer thinking there was something on my leg or something, and she just caressed my thigh, like, Brei, stop.
I used to do it in high school too.
Once, I was in the high school play. Here's another story. I was in the high school play. I was, and she was a part of like the work. Brei just blinded herself with my light. Stop touching things. So I was in the play. I was the Lion and the Wiz, and Brei was a part of like the crew.
The backstage crew.
She was a part of the crew, and how our stage was set up is that there was like 2 side curtains, and Brei was in one of those side curtains. This was at rehearsal. Nobody could see her but me because of the angle that I was at, and I was sitting down in the front of the stage while the person who played the Good Fairy, whatever, was singing a song to Dorothy, and I turned back.
I was so bored. I was like, Kyra.
No, she didn't do that. I looked back.
No, but that's what I was screaming.
Well,
I was
okay,
trying to catch your attention.
I didn't hear you because there was someone singing a song, but I did turn smiled at you, turned back, and then I turned back just because you looked like you were about to tell me something. I turned back, and then Labrisha pulls up her shirt and just flashes me. I gotta turn back, act like I didn't just see my best friend's boobs in the middle of the play, and pretend like I was listening to the goddamn song. So that was fun. Also, fun fact, that was around the exact same time back then when I had a huge crush on my friend.
Which I didn't know at the time.
Yeah, and you kind of made me blush like hell throughout the rest of that performance, so that was great. I'm no longer have a crush on Labrisha, and good thing for that too.
But I love her to bits.
Apparently we're still gonna get married though, so.
Yep.
Oh, okay, going away from the mic. There we go. So yeah, that was a fun. Oh, another really quick fun one. One time I was walking down the hallway, and when Brei was still in school with me, and she ran up to me and she's like, "Hi," and I was like, "Hi." She grabbed the side of my head and gave me a huge kiss on the cheek, and then said bye and ran away. And I was like, "Oh, that's sweet. That was really random." I walk in. My teacher, Miss Paris, says, "Kyra, what's that on your cheek?" She had done it just because she had just put on red lipstick. And now I had a huge lip stain on my cheek.
The best kiss stain I've ever made. And she didn't notice at all.
Well, how was I supposed to notice? I didn't notice until the teacher was like, "You might want to wash that off." So that's great.
And this is how I know nobody pays attention to what I wear when I'm in school.
Well, I didn't look. I wasn't looking at your lip to kind of put them on my cheek before I could say anything about
I
them.
was like, "Hi, Kyra." Mwah.
Bye,
Kyra.
That's exactly what happened. Oh my god. I have one more story. You need to think of some stories. I've been saying like 20 in a row.
Girl, our whole life is a story. I don't need to say anything. We've done everything together.
I have one more story that I remember. So when I was in high school, I was on my school speech team, and Brei at the time was dating a friend of mine who was also on the school speech team. So she and I managed to convince her to come with me and her girlfriend to this competition.
Never again.
The whole competition was that you've been to several since then though. and the whole thing is like we were like still relatively new friends. Like it was like relatively the beginning of the year. I think it was like November. It was the first interleague tournament, which means like it wasn't just our league. It was like also the Manhattan League, and someone who I knew really well, who had a huge like awkward issue with, was gonna be there, so I wanted Brei to be there to help me out, to like give me some moral support from the side.
I couldn't even give her moral support. I was going through shit my damn self.
But she still came, and what ended up happening is I don't remember when, like what time during the day, but we ended up in the empty classroom, because like these competitions are at schools, and I was just telling her my life story. I literally told her, she remembers this, I literally told her about all these things that happened to me, all this like personal crap that went on in my life, like my whole life story. I finished telling her everything.
The only thing that could come out of my mouth was,
"Your whole life needs Jesus." That's what she said. After my like half an hour of pouring out my heart,
she was crying. I was hugging her. I was giving comfort. But after she finished, I didn't know what to say. So all I said was, "Your whole existence, your whole life needs Jesus."
And of course now we're both dying on the floor of this random classroom in this school, because that was the most randomest thing she could, anything she could have said, that's what she said, which to this day is how she makes me feel better. I'll like tell her like some shit that happened, she'll say the most ridiculous thing, and then suddenly I'm dying.
I'm telling you, you can't take me in a serious conversation. I won't know what to say.
Who knows feelings?
Exactly. So the first thing you'll get out of me is, "Well, damn, you might need some help there, sir."
Have you heard of our Lord Jesus Christ?
Have you heard of the good old Lord Jesus? He's good and helpful with these situations.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I remember I have the worst anger issues back then and now, but I'm a little more calm now. Somewhat. So I remember one time Kyra made me mad, but I wasn't really mad at her. I was already stressed, and she said something to me. Instead of me taking it out on her, because I knew what it's not that I was mad at her, it's just I was frustrated already, and she was making it worse. So instead of getting mad, I walked off, almost broke the hallway door, punched the window of a classroom door, almost threw a chair out the window of the room. Oh my god, I used to be so destructive in my anger.
This is where you learn that Bree is a psychopath.
I'm not a psychopath.
Nah, but Bree
Maybe a
definitely.
sociopath, but
Bree
not a
definitely had her
psychopath.
issues. She's like, what, an arsonist? she hasn't burned any houses down, but trust me, she wants to.
Starting on that one.
No, you're not. No, there will be no burning of orphanages, especially not talking about it on the podcast.
We're gonna cut that out. We'll edit that out.
We're just gonna edit that out.
We're just gonna edit that out.
But what I thought you were gonna talk about is, so in high school, one thing that I remembered is like, there's a few ways to get Brie when she's like upset. There was some very few ways to get her to like be okay again. And I remember one time we were in the Wendy's and she had her head down. She just wasn't in the mood. And when it comes to Brie, either you know exactly what to say or you don't say anything, because she is just not gonna talk to you if she's like not in the mood. But I knew what to say. There was this song that she introduced me to, and a song about the webcomic that we both like fell in love with. That was like jump started our friendship. And I just casually, she was like her head down, done with the world. I just went up next to her and I said,
So
"When
creepily
you
nice.
meet a nice girl and you don't know what to say, you miss your chance that she probably thinks you're gay. Is there any wonder why your thunder might not work? She had the hots for you, now she just thinks you're a jerk. I'm torn between two fragile lines. Hey there, you look nice. Or, hey there, would you like to talk about Homestuck? Please don't walk away from me. I'm not that kind of guy, you see. Hey there, would you like to talk about Homestuck? But I started singing that song, and the second I got to the part where it says gay, she jumped up. Gay. And we just sang the rest of it. And we had other friends there who looked at us like, why the hell are we friends with them? But I got her happy and she was dancing and singing. And we embarrassed our friends in the middle of Wendy's.
Questionable friendships.
We literally sing that song all the time. And like, released, like, I think it was like 2 months ago, Bree started singing it again. And I was like, oh my god, I still remember all those words.
Exactly. You can't just
And it's been
forget
like
the
4
words.
years since we sang that song. They just remembered those words. Sorry, I just had a notification that says Damien and Shane make a baby, and I just got distracted. I had the Smosh Games, the Smosh Game notifications on, so that just surprised me just a little bit. Anyway, we just ate.
Did we?
Bree is also a bottomless pit. Fun fact about her. But same though. That's not exclusive to her. We're both bottomless pits. We love food.
Food is like, that's how I met most of my friends in college. Oh my god, let me tell you about how I met my friend Chris. I did not realize
Chris.
his name is Chris.
Oh, different Chris.
Yes,
Okay.
different Chris. It's not our Chris. That's my gay boyfriend. We can't call him him.
My friend Chris is she's referring to Christopher, her gay boyfriend.
Yes.
Anyway,
No, this kid's name is just Chris. So, we were in the same class, and we sat next to each other, so we talked about maybe once or twice in that class. Tell me why after we got out of class, he was on the first floor lounge, first floor lounge. I walked up to him and was like, "Hey Chris, how's it going?" He's sitting there eating his food. He's eating a bagel. He bought two. Mind you, I walk up, takes his other bagel, breaks half of it, eats it, and he's just looking at me like, "Okay, I'm just gonna have to accept this now." And that is how I made a friend. He calls me Mama Brei now.
see, in high school,
That's
when it
all.
came to food with me and Bree, that basically meant I was buying food and she was eating it.
Yeah, basically.
In high school, my parents gave me like a pretty good amount of money for the week.
And I was poor.
So because I had a good amount of money and she had no money, if she ever wanted food, she wouldn't be like, Kyra, would you mind getting me something? She'd be like, I want cookies. And so we would go to the Subways and I would have to buy her cookies. And I mean, I know I could have said no, but how do you say no to that face? It's
That's literally how our whole existence was. Kyra, I want food.
Like, it'd be like, I want cookies. No, I want dumplings. Oh, let's go to Wendy's. Or, oh, you want nachos? Let's get nachos.
Yep. Okay. Or I can't buy that right now.
Like, I
You
don't.
don't
Oh
love
my
me
god,
no more.
I have a story. So one time, me, Brei, her girlfriend at the time, our mutual friend Sam, and our friend who is no longer a friend. I don't want to say her name on this podcast.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna call her Mandy. So me, Brei, Mandy, and Sam were hanging out, and we got some food like near our school.
No offense to anybody whose name is Mandy.
Yeah,
out there.
we currently hate this person right now, but we don't
love
hate
all of
Mandys.
you.
We love you, Mandys. Arms
No.
up to the Mandys. So we had gotten some food like in our area, and I had no cash left, and we were all still hungry, and we were gonna go to the Atlantic Mall. So I think it was Brei who pulled me like to the side of like this like big sidewalk, like on our way to the Atlantic Mall, and her and Mandy started going through my purse, and like I let them, and they drug out all of the change I had in there, because I just like throw change at the bottom of my purse. Took all the change I had in there, found I had about $10 worth of change, quarters, nickels, dimes, and pennies. Yes, and pennies.
Keep them pennies, man.
So we went to the Target in our mall, and inside the Target they have a little Pizza Hut section. So we used the money to get 2 personal pizzas that we were gonna split between the 4 of us, and the lady felt so bad she gave us 2 free drinks. And that was the first time we used the bottom of my purse change to buy things, not the last.
Never the last.
The funniest part I remember about that was that literally while we were like, I was crouched on the floor, you were digging through my purse, Mandy was like putting makeup on my face for some reason, Sam was sort of standing off to the side, and one of our teachers walked by, and Mandy just goes, "Hi, miss," I forgot which teacher, and she was just like, "Hi, girls."
I think our teachers were just like, you know what? Go on with your life. I'm not questioning it today.
And that was not the last time we did that. I think in the future we stopped using pennies, but that time we had to use pennies.
We had money at the time. And I have a job now, so I'm not as broke as I think I am.
The funniest part about that, I think, was that afterwards we had used every cent in my purse. We went back to Mandy's front porch, and Brei was like, "I'm still hungry." Well, I'm sorry. There's nothing we can do about that. We've exhausted all options.
I am never not hungry. Don't judge me.
No, that's true.
I don't think there's ever a time where I'm not hungry.
Sorry.
There are those random occasions.
This is what Brei does. She'll go 3 days without eating anything, and then eat enough for 30 people in an hour. That is how Brei works.
Not enough for 30, maybe 4 or 5.
100.
No.
Yes, 400 or 500 people.
No.
Yes, that is correct.
I eat like a normal person.
Define normal person.
Like today, all I had for breakfast was 2 donuts and some coffee.
Good. Today you ate normal, but once you stop eating for like a period of time, you eat enough for like make up for that time in like 3
Just like
times.
Sunday, I had pasta, nachos. I ate some of Kyra's food, and I had 4 drinks. Remember when we went to Applebee's?
Oh yeah, I don't know why I was like, my food. When did you come to my house and eat my food? But no, she hung out
I'm
that
always
day.
at your house eating your food. What?
We joke that this is also her house, even though she does not live here. My mom loves her more than me. My
No,
aunt
she
loves
does
her.
not.
My mom is always giving Brei stuff. Like literally, my mom was cleaning out the hall closet, and Brei was just standing there, and my mom was just like, "Hey, this doesn't fit me. Here, Brei. Hey, this doesn't fit here anymore. Here, Brei. Here, Brei." Brei went home with like a bag full of new clothes.
I left one of my shirts.
Yep, it's right there. I left it on the bag for you. Oh my god.
Remember the time when I actually joined a club? I was crocheting and knitting, and I almost walked into a bus.
Oh my god! So me, her, and a bunch of our friends at the time were walking down the street, coming from Wendy's. I'm like 90% sure.
Yes.
We spent a lot of
Shake
time
Shack,
in Wendy's
actually,
that
we were
year.
coming back from Shake
Really?
Shack.
Shake
It was
Shack? I was rich that day? Wow.
Yeah, you were rich that day. You bought me fries.
Oh yeah, I remember that. So we're walking back from Shake Shack, and while we were walking, Brei was crocheting or knitting or whatever, crocheting. And So there was a bus. It wasn't moving, but it was stopped and it was like blocking the path. And Bree was not looking up. And I realized that Bree wasn't gonna stop. So I said, so me and like 3 friends did, and I said, Bree. She stopped,
Directly.
looked up. 2 inches from her face was the side of the bus, and she was just like, oh.
Hello. Pat's bus.
Backs
Steps
up.
up.
We're just like, get back on the goddamn sidewalk.
No one told that bus to interrupt my walkway.
You should have been looking where you were going.
Look, no one told y'all to let me wander off by myself.
You had wandered like 3 feet in front of us. We thought you were gonna stop. We didn't realize that you were not paying attention.
Mind you, I had a whole bag of yarn in my side bag. I was sitting there with a good length of scarf on my arm. I was knitting away. Stops. Well, hello there. How did you get here?
I just can't with Bree sometimes.
She loves me.
If you can hear that, that is my gerbil running on her supposed to be silent wheel, which is very clearly not silent.
That's because she be running at the speed of light. Speaking
Speed of life. Speed of life.
Speed of life. Speed of life. Speed of light. Same difference. Anyways,
Bree walks faster than the speed of light.
No, I don't. She keeps saying that I walk mad fast. I be walking at a casual, slow pace.
So listen, I live in so near my neighborhood is like the downtown area. That's where our school was. That's where all these shops were. That's where most of the trains are. And what Bree will do is she'll take the train to the downtown area and then come to my house. And it's usually a straight thing. You walk down this one street and you walk straight down this one street and you turn and my house is right there once you get to my street. But it's like a decent walk. It's like it's like 15 blocks, I think. Around 15 blocks from that street. And Bree doesn't mind walk 15 blocks. I've walked 15 blocks before. It's like not a big deal. But this is what'll happen. Bree will be like, I'm off the train. We'll be on the phone while she's walking. I'm off the train on my way. Literally 2 minutes into our conversation, I'm like, what street are you on? Oh, this street. How are you halfway there already? How did you already walk 7 blocks? These are not short blocks. These are long Brooklyn blocks. How do you already walk 7 blocks? Or like one time, I remember I was on the bus on my way home and she was coming to my house and she got there before me, even though she just got off the train while I was halfway there. She still got there before me and I'm just looking at her like, how the hell are you here already? She has lightning legs. She has lightning legs. One time she was like, I'm walking slower so that you can
get your life together.
And I was like, no, I'm ready. And she's like, okay. Literally 2 seconds later, I'm here. What do you mean you're here?
You told me to walk faster.
How much faster? The speed of life, apparently.
No, I walk at a moderately decent pace. I give people time to catch up.
A moderately decent pace for a race car.
No, I don't.
Like, I would like to say that when I'm not with her or my other friend Chris, I walk decently fast. Sometimes people need to like walk up a little bit to keep up with me. I don't walk like really slow. When I'm with Bree, there was like several times in a row where me and her are walking and I'm trying to keep up. I'm like holding her arm and I realize that I am half jogging next to her just to keep up with her. And I'm like, oh my god, why am I jogging? Why are you going so fast?
I didn't even notice I was walking
so fast.
Because we were talking. So I guess when I'm not paying attention, I automatically go back into reset mode where I just walk at my normal pace, which is a decent slow walk is what I call it, because I don't lose any breath from it.
It's not slow. It's slow maybe for like a cheetah. So fast.
Oh my god, leave me alone.
Never.
Let me be. I have my moments.
You have quite a few of them. What was that?
Oh. Okay, so this girl happens to be a board game fanatic. Her whole house is full of board games.
Not my whole house, just my bookshelf.
My whole life revolves around card games.
I have card games and board games.
Yes.
Arguably, I have more card games than I do have board games because board games are expensive.
Why, we'll never know. But hey. So I remember when she finally got this new board game called Lift It. She rage quit so hard.
Oh my god, so Lifted is this board game, if you do not know, where they you have these little like cranes you can either attach to your forehead or hold in your hand, and you have like a long string and a hook, and you
I was
attach it to the
apparently
shapes.
very good at this game.
You attach to the shapes and you use it to build whatever's on the card that you choose. And it's a competitive game. You move around the board depending on how many points you get each round. And me and Brei tried to play this together, and she's too good at it. It's so hard. She kept saying, "Let's do it with the head," because when you do that, when it's like your turn, you get to choose if you do it with the head or with your hands. And with the head, you have to attach to this strap on your forehead. And my head was hurting by the end of that game, and I was just so done with the stupid hook keep coming off the piece, and the pieces keep falling over. Did I spit on you? I'm sorry. So hard. But if you want to hear rage quit, I have this other game that my mom bought me because she knows I love board games, called New Yorkopoly.
Oh my god.
It's basically Monopoly.
The first time we played, I rage quit because she was basically winning and I was not gonna go bankrupt. So I was like, fuck this.
And
I'm
the
not
second
doing it.
time we played,
I landed on parking like 3 times. After the third time,
and
she gave up.
all 3 times, it was full of money. So she got like so much money. I'm over here thinking about having to mortgage one of my places, and just over here winning over and over again. I literally started packing up the game. I'm like, no, we're not doing this anymore. We're not.
I don't think
not.
we are ever going to finish a game of New Yorkopoly.
I'm gonna have a board game night this weekend, and I'm gonna keep that game in my room. I want to love all my friends by the end of this game. I already love Brei a little less. Let me stop. No, I don't.
No.
Oh, so frustrating. No, but I love board games and card games. I have
After this, you
so
wanna play
many.
Yahtzee? I feel like playing Yahtzee.
Okay, we can play Yahtzee after this if you want. We are nearing the end of this podcast. Please do not lick the microphone. I'm just gonna move you over here. We're near. You're so annoying. We're nearing the end of this podcast, so I just want to say, if anybody's actually listening to us right now,
Which you should. We're very funny people.
yeah, we're gonna try, heavy on the try,
Very, very heavy on the try.
to post these once a week. We're gonna try, because when she comes over, we can record more than one and then just spread it out. So let's see how this goes. If you have an idea for what we should talk about next, because we run out of friend stories, apparently.
We've been good friends, and I don't think we'll ever run out of friends.
That's
stories.
true.
We
I'm
just
sure
can't think of any right now.
I'm sure we'll be able to think of many more come the next podcast. Maybe we can do a little segment called "What's Going On in Brei and Kyra's Life." I don't know, something. But
Everything is going on in Brei and Kyra's life. Remember what I told you about that guy George at my job?
Do you want to talk about that on the
I
podcast?
will not talk about that on the podcast. I'm sorry, guys. That's something I'm gonna keep private.
Maybe in the future, if you comment down below and like and subscribe.
What happened to George?
Or if you're on iTunes, what do you rate it? Yeah,
Yeah,
rate it.
rate.
Rate our podcast. But yeah, so we're gonna wrap this up. I want to thank the 2 of you who are out there for listening, and please let your friends know if you thought we were interesting. I hope we were. We tried to be. We'll try to do some other stuff. Talk about some
I'm
other
pretty
things.
sure y'all lives may be more interesting than ours, but our friendship is just a shitload of shits and giggles.
We'll be able to talk about plenty of things. Maybe we can play some card games on here. Maybe we could talk about some dark crap. Maybe we could talk about some light crap. Maybe we could do some other fun stuff. So any ideas you have, if you're watching and actually give a crap enough to, comment, please, please.
Now that she's done sounding extra desperate, it's up to you. But
No, it's not. Do it.
we're still gonna post because we think it's fun.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I mean, I already talk with you shit for like hours at a time.
Exactly.
Might as well post it online.
Yeah, we can
That's
maybe.
our tagline. I already talk shit about you all the time. Might as well post it online. Done. Done. That's our tagline.
Please don't trademark that.
We already have. It's too
God
late.
damn it.
If you say that, you'll get sued for $20 million.
No.